Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all okay. Welcome back to another episode of Milford Rail and Chopgate Town. Back on working on Chopgate rebuild. Not had much chance to do a great deal over the last month or so. Been very busy. Maybe grabbed half an hour here and there to do bits. Mostly been getting stock ready for Gateshead show next month, which I'll be attending with all my Stokesley Models items for selling. Been and picked up a few more items today, including Percy from Thomas the Tank Engine. He'll be up at Gateshead. A couple of other engines and a couple of wagons. Anyway, back to Milford Rail. What I've been doing managing to grab bits of time is sorting out the ground level at Chopgate Depot, which needs raising up to rail height. Using my trusty old cornflake boxes. It's a good source of card, and in a matter of speaking, it's free. You're buying any cereal boxes really. You're buying the cereal, eating the contents, and instead of chucking the box in the bin, you're using it for modelling, which is really good. So in a matter of speaking, it's free. So yeah, I have loads of this stuff, and I always recommend this card. It's a good thickness, it's reasonably sturdy on its own. For a lot of my buildings that I make, I just glue 2 or 3 sheets together, and it's very strong. The really big station building I made ended up being about 6 card thicknesses. If that's right, thicknesses, whatever. And it was really solid. I mean, wouldn't advise it, but I reckon if I stood on it, it'd hold me weight. But it's like I say, it's a good source of card, and that's all I've been just using to build up the ground level. I'll bring you in a bit closer and let you have a look. So yeah, this is the local servicing, or well, not necessarily servicing, but refueling, watering, cleaning, mucking out, light maintenance for the engines. We have got the engine shed on this road. Then this one is diesel fueling point. We'll have all the canopy and pumps and God knows what else here. Then we've got a weighbridge and little hut to go over here. We've got a bit more wall to build that comes up here with gates across. Next to that, we've got like a pump house for the diesel fuel with a diesel tank at the side of it, and then just the rest of round is just general bits and pieces. I think I've got a couple of steam engine wheels looking a bit rusty, and other bits and pieces, pallets with buffers on, and a coal bunker, and just general bits and pieces that are lying around to go on. So yeah, it's coming on. It's more or less trimmed to size. I've got just a bit here that needs trimming off to the size I want. I don't know if you can't see them on camera. On the card, I've written there's numbers. That's just to tell me how many layers of card I've used. This area is up to 4 layers. This is 3, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4. This is all 4. 4 layers. I mean, you could do it with 3 really, but I go to 4. 4 layer thickness will take you well above the sleepers and the rail chairs. So in this area, the next pieces will be right up to the rail, which is where it gets tricky. I mean, until you get to that stage, you can just chuck any pieces of card down, offcuts, and which is what I've used mostly, is offcuts that I've had in my spare card box. But when you start getting to rail height, up to the rail and getting it up, literally up to the rails, that's when you need to take that little bit more care about your cutting and that. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. Like I say, I've been grabbing half an hour here and there just to stick a few bits on to build it all up. I've still got this area right over here that's only one layer's thickness. Excuse me. I've still got obviously 3 more layers to put in that area. Got 1 more piece to go in this area. I wonder if that's big enough. No, that's too thick anyway. That piece is 2 card thick, so that's too thick anyway, but it's too small anyway, it won't fit in there. So yes, I thought I'd better start bringing you along, because I mean, when I progress with this area, excuse me, my chest has been playing up a bit today. Yeah, I'm going to be, what's the plan? This area for the engine shed, with the kit that I've got ground bottom sheet. Let me find it. This is only part of it. This is what came with the kit, like the insides of the shed. It's all flagged and whatever. I'm going to cut this bit off the edge. I don't need that, it's just the inner bit. There is another piece that glues onto the end, which will be over there somewhere, and obviously I'll have to cut it for the rail and fiddle it in. So that bit goes over there, and then I want to look at the fuel area, see where things are going, drill the holes for the canopy over the fuel pumps and that, because it has a light in it. The engine shed has a light in it. Mark all that sort of thing out, and then I'm going to paint this whole area in great Humbrol tarmac colour. And then once all that's dry, I'll put the weighbridge sheet, the engine shed sheet in. I don't think there's anything else. And then what I'll do is I'll mix up some paint, blacks, whites, greys, that sort of colour, and I use the sponge part from those kitchen scourers that I've got the green scourer on one side and the other's just like a sponge. I take the scouring bit off and just use the foam sponge and just dab it all over, blend it in, make it look like oil drops or general grime or whatever, you know, just generally weather it in. And then in this sort of area on the original Chopgate that I had, I got some black scatter. I think it's supposed to have been coal or something, and I'll chuck a load of that on this area around the track and over the point, well, not the points, but over this area up to where the coal drop is, and just generally scatter it about. I'll show you the other bit in the original part in a minute. Obviously I've still got it, I haven't took much off it yet. So yeah, there's still a fair bit to do, and I thought with doing all that lot, I was going to video that lot anyway, show you how I do things. I mean, there's no guarantee it's going to work out, knowing my luck, the way things go for me. But yeah, anyway, it's getting there. So right, enough waffle, I'll get on with something. I'll just quickly show you that other board, and then we'll crack on with doing a bit of groundwork, show you how I do it. Okay, so this is the original board. I don't know how well you can see it. Excuse the shaky hands. There's the weighbridge section, pump house, fuel tank, an old grounded wagon for stores. That doesn't belong on there. That is the weighbridge building that's over there somewhere. And we've got a few pallets with bits on, the rusty wheels, the coal drop, and I've just chuck the scatter on, and you know, it looks pretty good, I think. But still a bit to do before we get to that stage. That's the engine shed that's going on. So yeah, looking good. Right, let's crack on. Right, let's do a bit, shall we? I've still got this area. You can just see it. Move it around a smidgen more. That's better. Are we level? Yeah, looks it. Yeah, I've only got to one layer on this. I need to go 3 more levels on this area. So we haven't got many. I've got a few small pieces left, but nothing for that area really. So I'm going to use this big sheet that was cut for something. Again, it's only cornflake boxes. So somehow that way is a bit better. I've got a bit of a gap up there which you can't really see. Not very good, I know, but I need to mark there, mark that. Can't really see me cutting that, can you? Just so kind of, but you know how to cut things out with a craft knife and a ruler. You know, you don't need me to show you how to do that, do you? Not really. Okay. Right, line that up. Now we have got 2 tracks coming in to there, and I mean you can feel with this card. This card's pretty strong on its own, but it's thin enough when you're doing something like this to be able to feel underneath, and I can just feel the end of the track, the rail, which is exactly there on both sides. So I can mark that, and then because we're not going up to sleeper height just yet, I'll mark that where the end of the sleeper is, and because we don't know exactly where the sleeper is under here because we can't feel it, it's too high, so I shall just mark that at a point that feels like the rail. And same on this side, feel for the edge of the rail, which is about there. So that gives me some indication of where I need to be, and across to there. So this bit we shall cut out. So trusty ruler, handy craft knife, trim this out. I mean, there we go. I don't know actually how much of this you can see from over there or not. Might have to see if I can pinch the wife's phone or find another camera or something. Then I can have 2 doing the same, you know, 2 cameras on, which might make things a bit easier. Right, so we've cut that. It's not quite fit. You can't really see this very well, can you, from there? Is that any better? There, that's better, isn't it? Right, you can see that I've just gone a bit over, but that's... the length is near enough there. Maybe need to take a little bit more off of that. But that's fine. That bit's fine. So we roughly know what the thickness of a sleeper is over there. It's about 4 or 5 mil, something like that. So I need to take a bit extra off there. And I mean, we've already got level 4 to there, so I need to come into there and cut this out as well, which is going to be fun. So I'm going to trim that, cut this bit off and that bit, and see how we're doing. So there we go, we've trimmed that, and this side's not so bad. I haven't got all the way to the mark, you know, because I don't want to cut it too much off. But now we can feel where this level 4 is that I've done under there, which is something about there. It goes across to there, something like that. And I still need to take a bit more off there. So we'll go to that. Yeah, so looking okay there. So I'll just cut those few bits out. Okay, so we've done those bits, stick it back in, and we're getting there. So yeah, right, I'll continue cutting this piece out and I'll bring you back in when I've done it. Okay, right, well, hello again. It is actually the following day from where I left the last session. I got a bit tired. We was working on this strange shape for this area. I glued a couple of level thicknesses together and I started feeling a bit funny, so I called it tonight, and I've just come in now. Only got about half an hour tonight, so I thought I'd just get this piece finished. This is now 3 pieces thick, and it's not a very good fit, but it will do, because with it not being the sort of like final level, it will do. I mean, we've got bits of gaps up there, there's a gap there, I've had to trim it to fit, but yeah, I mean, it'll do, because like I said, there's at least 2 more thicknesses going on top of here to bring it up to rail height. It's just the right, so that'd be what, 6 card thickness. Getting tongue tied now. Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's 6 card thickness is just about right height. So it's not too high, it's not too low, it's just about right. So anyway, let's get this glued in, if I've got enough glue left. My trusty Yoo-hoo. This stuff is absolutely brilliant. I would recommend it to anybody. As it says on the tube, all purpose. So it will do everything. Literally everything. So I use it for back seams, for kit making, stuff like this, building ground level up, fixing things in place, people, signs, anything you can think of within reason. I always use this. I mean, personally, I mean, everybody's different. You use whatever glues you're comfortable with using. But I would recommend this to anybody. I only use three different types of glue. Yoo-hoo, as you've seen. Super glue for more permanent jobs. And PVA for ballast and scenery scatters and things. That's it. To me, that's all you need, really. But like I say, I mean, each to their own. Everybody can use what glue they want, but from my point of view, I would recommend those 3 glues to anybody that's starting out in modelling. Anyway, right, so I've just chucked a load of glue on the back of this. Get my trusty ruler. This one, I filed down the tips because I use this as a spreader as well. So I put my glue on the back of here, stuck it down, plenty of pressure because you've got 3 card thicknesses, and it just spreads the glue out. Like that. Spread it out both ways. It just spreads the glue out underneath and makes a good tight fixing. I do this with everything, all my kits and everything, over the brick papers. If you get any glue on the brick papers, just give it a really good rub, and it comes off. You know, doesn't leave any marks or anything if you get it early enough. But if you leave it too long, it does mark. And there we go. That's it. That's all there is to it. So I put number 4 on there to say that it's 4 levels thick. So right, are we all on level 4? No. got a piece over here that says 3, so I need to do another piece. So I'll do that. That'll probably be it for tonight. So I'll probably pick this up again Sunday. It's now Friday evening. So yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. I mean, once I've done that piece, the next levels are the tricky one. It's not so bad on the straight pieces of track, but on here where there's a slight curve to the point is where it gets tricky. And then we've got, once we've done the outsides of the track up to height, we've got to do the insides of the track, which is going to be fun. Just trying to think of what size I did them before. Obviously the wheel back-to-backs we do them to 14.3, 14.5 mil. So I think because it's on a curve we need to leave a bit extra. So I'll probably start marking out about 3.5 mil, 13.5 mil, something like that, and see how it goes, and then just keep filing it down. Try it with a large steam engine, see if it clears or if it rides up on it, and just keep trimming it. That's all we can do. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Right, probably catch you on Sunday. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to Milford Rail and Chopgate Town Market Rebuild. Not Market Rebuild, Chopgate Rebuild. Continuing video of doing the ground level up to rail height at Chopgate Yard. I've managed to get a bit of time. The wife's not very well at the moment, so I've not had much chance the past couple of days to do any more on it. Ignore the dog barking if you heard that. Yeah, well, that's another story. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm going to do today is bring the section of it up to the top of rail height. Well, it's not quite the top of rail height, but it's near enough. So 2 thickness of cornflake card on top of the 4 that's already down is sufficient. It's just, what, maybe a mil below, half a mil, maybe something like that. So anyway, let's crack on. I have already glued the 2 pieces of card together that we need, and I'm going to be doing the line for the engine shed. So let's crack on. Right, put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing. Get rid of the bits. Now this is the engine shed line, one of my little engine shed, single road engine sheds going. We've already got 4 layers down, and I've just tried 2 layers. That's not too bad. Obviously, I don't know if you can see the watermarks on this, where the glue has run into the card from doing the ballast work. I thought it would have bubbled up more than what it has, and it's hardly anything, nothing there. You won't notice it anyway. So right, this piece of card is not long enough, which is fine. We can always add a little bit on the end. I mean, it's going to be covered up. I think that there's like a printed sheet I've got with the flooring for the engine shed to go on to cover these areas in the middle, which will be fine. So now there's 2 ways I can actually do this. I can use the ruler, measure the distance from rail to edge, or I could just put the piece of card up against the rail edge and mark it that way. Which way shall I go? I don't know. Let's have a look at the ruler, see what we get. See which is going to be best. We've got a wire solder joint down there. We can nick that out. I mean, again, when the printed sheet goes on, you'll not see it. I mean, I can't really get this in very well. because of the platform. I can just feel that piece of wire that's sticking up under there. And I think I'll need me little ruler somewhere. I've got a 6-inch ruler, a nice little 6-inch ruler. Let's see what we get, if I can see it. Let's try this side first. No, that says, oh, even when the glasses on my eyes are bad, 31 at 31 mil. Yeah, 31 mil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it at 35, which makes a whole heap of sense. If I need a piece 31, I'm cutting it at 35. You can probably guess why that is. Just so that I've got a bit to play with while I trim it to size, so I can get it as close as possible. Because within the top layer, the last thing you want is an uneven edge. So if I give plenty to play with, I can slowly take little strips off it until I get it exactly where I want it, even though we've measured it. You know, we still need to be precise if we can, or as near as damn it. So, right, let's cut this out. Okay, so we said 31, but like I said, we're going to do 35. So what we got, 235. That makes a whole heap of sense, doesn't it? 235. 235. 233. No, 235. Big ruler, because my 12-inch ruler's not long enough. So 35, where's my knife? Good old craft knife. I love this knife. I'd be lost without it. I believe it's Stanley, but I just can't remember where I got it from. Don't quite try and cut all the way through 2 layers of card at once. You can if you want, but it's not recommended, but you know. Right, there we go. Have we got 200? Have we got 235? No, 35. I keep getting my numbers mixed up, don't I? 235, 35, as Arkwright would say. He won't even say that. Right, 235. So let's have a look. I'm going to leave you there. I know you can't see clearly, but I'll leave you there for the moment. Okay. So we've got a good straight edge there. We need to nick out for that wire. So pencil, right, line it up just a bit further back so I can see where that wire is. I just need to take a little bit like that. I mean, you can, when you trim these little bits out for the wires, the solder and what have you, you can easily, if you want to, fill it in with something. I mean, I'm not too fussed. I'm not that much of a perfectionist. I like to think I am, but I'm not. I'm not that good. You know. There we go. Little nick in the end there, that should be suffice for what I want. So, let's see if it sits the full length up against the rail. As near as dear as damn it. Maybe I need a little bit more off. Yeah, I think it's just catching on the rail chairs as well. Yeah, I'll take a little bit more out. And like I say, you can fill it if you want to. I mean, this one will be covered by the printed sheet that's going on top. I think I showed you the sheet in a different video, different part to this video. Oh, yes, while I remember, I need to give a big thank you to all the subscribers that have joined my channel. It means a lot. I'm really pleased. Those few people that have joined so far, I'm really pleased that you've joined and want to follow the rest of the saga of Chopgate. And what a saga it is. Right, lad. Right, now then. That's looking good. So I'm going to mark roughly, I'll show you in a second, where the edge of the previous layer of card is. And instead of cutting in the correct place, I've marked it just there. I don't know if you can see, just the mark on both ends. Instead of cutting in to the line, I'm going to line it up with the marks, and then I'm going to inch it forward so that I can't see the marks, and then we'll cut that bit off, and then we'll check it again, because you just never know, my marks could be a little bit out. Right, we'll get rid of that bit. So there we go, I've just left the marks still on there. Excuse the dog again. Somebody wants to get in touch with me. Right, yes. That is fine. Now, yeah, I'm going to take the marks off now. I'm happy with it. Definitely happy the way that it's going. There we go. That's the last bit. Now I know I need to alter this corner because it's not square with what's over there. Let's just have a look what we've got. And would you credit that? We've got 31mm. That's right good, that, isn't it? So I put that on there. You can sort of see where I'm working, but you know, I could do, you know, if I can get 1,000 subscribers, which I can't imagine, what I plan to do is get some help from YouTube, and with that help I will purchase 2 decent cameras instead of using my phone. So yeah, if I can get 1,000 subscribers, I can get in touch with YouTube and get some backing from them, and we can get some decent cameras to make you even better videos, because that's what I'm missing at the moment really, because I could do with a second camera doing this, one where you are now and one over here where I'm working. That would be ideal, and then I can just put the 2 together, can't I? So yeah, please tell all your friends and ask them to subscribe so we can hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. That would mean the world. Right, back to this. Right, we're not much out of alignment with that, but I still need to take a smidgen off this corner. So because I'm cutting from the edge of that into this way, I'm going to turn it over. So I've actually got something for the knife to begin to, instead of trying to pull at an angle from nothing, if you get what I mean. So that looks about right. So I'll take that little bit off the end of there, and then we'll try that. Right, how do we look there? Yeah, that looks good enough. That looks good enough for me. I'll bring you guys over here in a minute when I glue this down. So yeah, That looks good. So this will be the first part that's up to rail height, and we're done. 2 seconds. Okay, right. That was quick. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see if you can see what I've done. You see there? Can you see the little nick out there? You can just maybe... I definitely need new cameras. My phone's not ideal. But yeah, that'll fit in there nicely. So let's stick some glue on it. And again, trusty Yoo-hoo, as it says, all-purpose. Well, it says Cola Universal on one side and all-purpose on the other side. So yeah, good glue. I'd never be without it. I dread to think if it ever went out of production and I couldn't get it, I don't know what I'd use. Because I used to use Bostik. That disappeared. And that was pretty much the same. But I would have said Bostik was better than this stuff. But I had to adapt to Yoo-hoo, and I've got to like it. I'd recommend it to anyone, which I have done in the past, and some people have ummed and ahed about using it. But they've tried it and they said, yeah, good stuff. And they still use it today, as far as I'm aware. Right, where's my ruler? My ruler again. As I said, I've smoothed the end down so that give it some good pressure. Squish all the glue around. And it's just moved slightly, so just push it back. This will be drying, what, 10 minutes? Not even that. Push it down to the end. Give it a bit good old pressure. Any excess you can just rub off with your finger. And would you look at that? We're just below. I mean, you can just hear my nails catching the rail. So, I mean, we don't want it, I don't want it exactly flush with the top of the rail. I mean, it'd be lovely, but I need to think that I'm going to be using a track rubber or something else to clean the track. And I don't want to be rubbing onto it, onto the card and the paint, and rubbing the paint off all the time. So, just below rail height is ideal, and that's fine. Looking good. So then we're up to height. Job's a good one. So yeah, I shall carry on, and as I progress I'll do another clip for you. So yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be in total, because we've got to finish doing up to rail height in between the tracks. I've got to continue doing this little ramp bit up from this road height up to this. Do all in between the tracks, yep. And then once I've done all that, we can start painting. So that'll more than likely be the next bit that you see. For you guys, probably in a minute or two. But for me, it's probably going to be a week. So I'll see you on the next one. See you later, guys. Right, back on with building the ground level up at Chopgate local depot. I thought I'd just quickly show you this bit. I've done most of it. Most of it's up to the right height now, and I'm just doing this bit in between the rails. I wasn't going to do it. I've not been feeling too clever. I've got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. That's going to be fun. Anyway, just quickly, to do the inner rails, the ground level between the rails, I used to use polyfiller and then just grind it out with my mini drill when it's set, but it's time consuming, it's a long job. I mean, it's just as bad as doing it this way. But anyway, what I've done is use me trusty cornflake box, card as usual, and this, I've just stuck this strip in here. This is a 10mm wide single thickness piece of card that I've stuck in just to lift the correct piece above the rail chair height. This piece is the correct thickness, 13mm I'm doing it at. These are all 13mm, this one's done. I'm going to trim it off in places. I've tried it with a couple of engines, nothing catches, so that'll just sit in there nicely. So yeah, I just need to glue that onto another piece of card and cut that out. The way, with it being such a curve, have I got a smaller piece to show you on? No, but let me just slice a bit of this off and I'll show you. Okay, move that out of the way because I don't want to lose that. Right. Let me move you back just a smidgen so you can see better. Right. Okay, yeah, so we're dealing with the curve. Now, we know roughly that it starts from there, goes over to that rail. Just a rough mark out. You can either use your craft knife or your scissors if you want. That gives me a rough guide on it. So as you can see, it's not lined up perfectly. What I'm going to do is trim this bit off because we don't need it. I'll just whip that off with the scissors, and then stick it up against the rail. Now we've got a bit of a gap there and we've got a gap there, so take your pencil, put it up under the rail as close as you can, and then just use your pencil and just mark the card and run it along the rail. And you see we've got two areas to cut it. You see the pencil line. Take the pencil, I use my scissors, take the pencil line off completely. I mean, you just keep nibbling at it. You see, we're getting there. We've still got an area that we need to look at. Needs a bit more trimming, so again, with the pencil, just rub it against the rail. Two more areas there and that end want trimming. So again, with the good, nice, sharp scissors, trim that, trim it back to the pencil line. These scissors have been pretty good for me. They've done all sorts of, and they're still cut as good as the day that I bought them, which I can't even remember where I got them from. Right, so we'll stick that back under there, and we've gone round the edge again with the pencil. I mean, you can't probably see the pencil line on there. But yeah, that looks an even line to me, and that's fine. So yeah, that'll do. That edge will do. So we are doing it at 13mm, So we just need to keep marking, put a line every couple of mil, so you follow the line that we've just done of the curvature. Bit of a long-winded job. I mean, if you peeps have got any better ways of doing this, then just stick them down in the comments, please. And yeah, yes, I was thinking of doing a live session last night. I mean, obviously it won't be much good because I hadn't advertised it or anything, but anyway, I looked into doing a live session, so you just come and hang out with me and do stuff and what have you. But unfortunately, I don't meet the required criteria for YouTube live sessions. For one, I need at least 1,000 subscribers. So please tell all your friends, ask them to subscribe so we can have some live sessions and some fun. And yet, you never know. I've been thinking about this. I'm still new, but I am thinking that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I will do some sort of competition game, bonus ball giveaway type thing. I don't know, I've not really thought into it much, but for every 1,000 subscribers, I'll probably I'll say might do some giveaways somehow to 1,000 subscribers. If I can work out how to find out who is his number 1,000 subscriber, could get a free 00 gauge railway related item or items, depending what I've got. So yeah, we'll have to see. Please, I need 1,000 subscribers. Please tell all your friends. Then we can see about improving things. Yeah, live sessions, better videos, and yeah, please. Anyway, right. So I don't know. Very difficult. Can you see the marks on there that have just gone round? It's 13mm from the edge. So you can either use your craft knife or scissors. I'm using my scissors. Just follow that line. As near as, damn it, this one's not going so good. I've got a bad elbow. This elbow, I don't know what I've done, but it's been giving me some right jip. I've had it for a couple of months now, and I thought it was, just a bit of strain because I was doing the first grass cut of the season, and afterwards it just started hurting, and I thought it would go in a couple of days if I rested it and what have you, but here we are 2 months down the line and I've still got it. So, and it's just made me feel useless because I can't use it properly. I can't use this arm very well. That's one of the reasons why these videos have taken so long to do. They've been ongoing and I've not felt, up to it. And even using on the computer, it's still difficult. So anyway, we've cut that roughly to 13mm. I might have to give it a trim. And that pretty much, I mean, it's difficult because I haven't put that bottom strip in, but sitting over top of the rail chairs, that is not too bad. It does need I do need to trim it a little bit, so again with the trusty scissors, just nibble at it. Don't need to take a lot off, just keep nibbling at it. And I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, I mean, if you can't get the line right where you want it, I suppose you could go down the route of some sort of filler and then just use your mini drill to scrape it out again, so if the flanges of the engines and what have you clear, that sort of thing. But that doesn't look far off. Let me just check a couple of bits. Yeah, it's looking a bit fat on that corner. So yeah, just keep nibbling at it until you're happy. I mean, the ends where the open track meets the ground built-in track, if you like, it wants to be shaped inwards, have a taper in, so that when the engine or coach or whatever meets it, it's not hitting a solid bit of concrete, so to speak. It pushes the flanges to one side and aligns it properly. But yeah, I mean, it's not far off. I think that piece will do. So what I'll do with that is the same with this piece, is I'll double the thickness of card up and they'll be ready to go in, and I'll need to put me 10mm strip in there just to raise it up. And I've taken the track pins out, lift the track pins out and use my knife just to clear off any high bits of the sleepers. And that's basically ready to glue the other bits in. I've got, like I say, I've got a 10mm strip to put in there. Double these two pieces up and then I can put them in. And then we're all up to ground level, rail height. So, yeah. So next on this bit is to find, I need to cut out over here for the buffer stops to go in. I've done that one, but not that one. Is to get me tarmac coloured Humbrol paint out and paint the whole thing. I always use Humbrol paint. So yeah, we'll get this painted. I'll get this little bit cut out for the buffer stop, and then just over here, you can't really see it on there, is where the road comes into the yard, and it's sort of, I've stepped it kind of, so hopefully when I put the road sheet on it will fit in, it'll just come like a gradient. Same with a bit of pavement sheet. That'll be ready to go in, and at the same time I'll put the sheet in for the engine shed, the base, and then we'll see about mixing up some gooey paint, blacks, greys, whites, reds, browns, something like that. Just you know, oil and stuff. Let me just get something. Right, when we come to doing that stage, we've painted it in Humbrol tarmac, we've mixed up a oily gooey mess, like I say, blacks, whites, greys, reds, whatever. Don't mix it completely, let some of the white and the grey and the red show through, and then we've got a choice of what we can use. That's just a normal piece of foam that I've got from somewhere, probably from some sort of packaging. makeup pads, I've used them before, or these kitchen scourers. Take the green bit off and just use the foam to stick it in your paint and just dab it everywhere in random patterns and just go from there, you know, cover everything. Then once we've done that bit, I've got some black scatter somewhere that I'm going to put mostly in this sort of area where the coal loading area will be. There's a coal stairs, and I've got a big digger, and where they've spilt it, where it's filling up the loco tenders and what have you, and yeah, just general grime. Yeah, it looks good. So, right, this more than likely be the last segment of this this part, because as I've said in previous video, it's turning out to be a longer video than I expected, so I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts hopefully. So yeah, this is probably the last segment, so I will see you on the next segment when we start getting the paint out. I mean, you don't want to see me painting the whole of this area, it's a largish area, but I will bring you along. If I could do time lapse, then I would leave the camera on for you so you could just watch in time lapse mode, but unfortunately I don't know how to do that yet. I haven't worked that one out. So yeah, progress. And also the other video that I've started but not finished is the ballast work, just that direction. You can't see it from here. The ballast is down partially in the station area. That now needs weathering with rail grime and other bits and pieces. So that's part of another video that's ongoing. But yeah, we're getting there slowly. But like I say, it's just this arm that's made me feel off and been very difficult to stretch. I mean, that I can't even stretch my arm out today. Oh. So we'll see what the doctor says later. Anyway, thanks for watching as always. I will see you on ground level build up part 2 very soon. Thanks for watching. See you later.